I hated Aunt Linda. Right from the first day Daddy brought her to the house, I have always despised her. What beats my imagination was how she was able to get my dad to marry her barely a year after Mom passed on, considering the fact that he has always been a busy man. Daddy, we don't need a new mother. I had said to him the night he called us to talk about his intention of getting married again to Aunt Linda. Diamond, speak for yourself. Daddy, we need a new mother. I'm tired of eating noodles every day. That was J-Boy, my immediate elder brother, speaking. Junior and I were the only ones at home that period, as our two eldest were in boarding schools. I believed they were going to support me to stop Daddy from taking a new wife, but I was disappointed when they came home for the midterm break and were clustering around her like flies each time she visited. These boys are making me look wicked. I thought to myself. 2 months later, Dad eventually married her and she started living full-time in our house. That woman married my dad for his money. I would always tell my friends. Initially, I didn't eat her food. I made whatever I wanted to eat by myself. But after the night, I put noodles on fire and slept off in the living room. Daddy banned me from cooking in his kitchen. You almost burnt down my house, he shouted. A year after, she was delivered of a baby girl. You should be happy, Diamond. You now have a sister. One of my friends said when I broke the news to them, a daughter of a witch can never be my sister. I had said to them, as the baby was growing, my hatred for her and her mother was also growing. To make matters worse, all the attention I was getting as the last born and the only daughter of the house was diverted to her. That's not fair. I have always been everyone's favorite, the most adored in the house. Daddy buys her clothes every time he travels out of town, and Junior would take money from his savings to buy her some snacks on our way back from school every day. Before the arrival of this new baby, any edible found in the fridge or anywhere around the house used to be mine, no matter who dropped it. But after Amanda was born, the narrative changed. I kept hearing words like, "Who drank Amanda's juice? That ice cream was for Amanda. Why did you take it? Do you not know it's for the baby?" It's so annoying. Brother, why do y'all worship this Amanda? Is she a goddess or something? I was forced to ask Junior one afternoon, because she is our little princess. He answered. His response got me more upset. Then, what am I? I asked, angrily. Wait, don't tell me you're jealous of that little baby. He asked. Jealous? Why would I be jealous of her? I'm only worried that since she was born into this family, no one cares about me anymore. I complained. He laughed. Diamond, this is Amanda's time to enjoy. You will be 15 by month end, 13 years older than the baby. So relax, you're not a kid anymore. He said. Amanda kept getting on my nerves, and I try to avoid her by locking myself inside my room anytime she is in the house. But somehow, she still managed to get in one evening while I was in the kitchen dishing food for myself. She emptied a bottle of Coke on top of my assignment book. This baby is crazy. That evening, I was doing my assignment over a bottle of Coke when I felt like eating something. Since I have been banned from taking snacks, I left for the kitchen to get some food, placing the bottle on the table beside the book. I forgot to close my door as usual. By the time I came back, Amanda was sitting under the table. She was holding the empty bottle in her hand. I stood transfixed at the door, watching her waving the can at me playfully. Did she finish the drink all of a sudden? I wondered. How did you get in here? I asked. And of course, she didn't answer. I walked into the room with the intention of dragging her out with one hand before my eye caught the mischief she had committed. The liquid was dripping from the table and flowing down to my school bag, lying at the foot of my bed. I removed the bag from the way then, checked my book, and it was already soaked. I screamed. Her mother came running into the room. "What is it, Diamond?" she asked, concerned. "Did you not see what this your baby did to my book?" I cried. She took a look at the book and frowned. "Amanda, why did you do that to your sister's book?" she asked. That statement alone was more painful than what the baby has done. Point of correction. I am not her sister. How many times do I need to keep repeating this here?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Please forgive her. She is only a baby, she said, and left the room, dragging Amanda along with her. She is only a baby. That is all I keep hearing every day. The other day was throwing my school bag downstairs through the balcony, and today is my assignment book. Who knows what tomorrow will be? I won't let this lie. I will make sure I teach her a lesson she will never forget, I said to myself. So later that night, while her mom was upstairs in her room and my brothers were engrossed in their video games, I carried Amanda, who was walking up and down behind my brothers, and snuck her out of the house. I dropped her outside by the doorstep and locked the door behind me. Then I went and sat with my brothers in the living room, awaiting the drama that would follow. Aunt Linda came down much later after she was done with whatever she was doing in her room. She sat on a different couch and looked around. "Where is Amanda?" she asked no one in particular. Of course, nobody answered her. The boys were engrossed in their video game. "Where is your sister?" she repeated, louder this time. They paused their game and looked around. "She was here some minutes ago." "Diamond, did you not see her?" Junior asked. "Nope." I shook my head. "Where did you leave her?" Senior asked Junior. Junior stood up and went into the kitchen, only to come back some minutes later with no positive news. "She was right here." Junior was still saying, "Please, go upstairs and look for her. That girl doesn't stay at a place." Aunt Linda was saying. Gradually, the search was becoming serious as everyone joined, except me. Aunt Linda was running up and down and asking annoying questions like a mad woman. "Did you check the fridge? What about the wardrobe?" She kept asking the boys. Nobody remembered to check outside for one thing. The door was locked already for the night, and everyone knows that Amanda couldn't have opened it by herself. After some time, we heard a loud banging on the door. Senior rushed to open it, and that was when I stood from my seat. It was Aunt Veronica, the wife of our security man. "Why did you leave Amanda outside?" She quarreled as soon as the door was opened. "Where is she?" Aunt Linda screamed from the dining room. "Come and see your child," she said, leading the way to the gate. We all hurried out behind her. "You must count yourself lucky tonight," she was saying. When we got to the gate, we saw Amanda lying motionless and without her clothes on at the security man's lap. He seems to be pressing her on the tummy. "What happened to my daughter?" Aunt Linda cried. "She almost drowned," he began. As I was about to get water from the backyard, I heard something fall inside the water. I flashed my light in the water, and I saw her struggling. My heart was pounding heavily. I locked Amanda outside, but I never meant any harm. I only wanted to punish her for what she did to me. I didn't know she would go near the pool. How did this girl come outside? My brothers kept asking amongst themselves. Just then, she sneezed. "Thank God!" Everyone exclaimed. "Thanks, Jesus!" I muttered under my breath. "You people should be more careful," the man advised, handing the baby back to the mother. Aunt Linda thanked them and we all went back to the house, with Amanda crying uncontrollably. "Please, nobody should tell your daddy what happened tonight." Aunt Linda pleaded with us before we got into the house. As soon as we got inside, I went straight to my room and locked myself in, heaved a very loud sigh of relief before slumping on the bed. I almost committed murder tonight. After the pool incident, I noticed that Amanda suddenly became scared of me. Anytime she sees me, she either runs back crying or tightly embraces anyone close by. Needless to say, she avoided my room like a plague. I didn't allow that to bother me. No one suspected anything too. Although, I felt really bad about what I did that night, which was intense, but that still didn't change anything. The hatred I had for the mother and daughter was still very strong. "Why is the baby scared of you?" J-Boy asked one morning when I walked into the living room, and Amanda ran to embrace him. "How am I supposed to know?" I replied. Are you sure your hands are clean?" He joked, and we just laughed over it. If only he knew how close he was to the truth. 2 months after that incident, I fell seriously ill and was diagnosed with the same sickness that killed Mom: kidney failure. My family was devastated. Even though I was dying, I still didn't want Aunt Linda or her daughter anywhere around my sickbed. Seeing them here makes my sickness worse. I told my dad, and because of my condition, he listened to me and advised her to stop coming to the hospital. I was placed under dialysis for more than 3 weeks. While Dad ran around looking for a donor, money was never a problem. I knew he would have given his, if not that he's donated to Mom already. Guess what? We finally found a donor. Senior announced it to me one evening, after I had almost given up on living. I smiled weakly. I was glad I have been given another chance to live. The operation was successful. The day I opened my eyes, the first person I saw was J-Boy, sitting right beside me. Amanda was sitting comfortably on his lap, but immediately I opened my eyes. She fell back on his chest and started crying. "Welcome back, Diamond. Thank God you made it," he said, and ran out to call the rest of the family. While we were driving home later, I decided to ask the question I had been harboring in my heart since my recovery. "Why did you come with her?" I asked, referring to the baby. "She couldn't have been left alone at home." Junior replied. I was confused. "What do you mean, left alone at home? Her mom is not here." They all looked at one another and sighed. "Can someone tell me what's going on here?" I asked. "Okay. The thing is, Linda is dead," Dad said, wiping his eyes. "How? When?" I asked, shocked. "She died, trying to save you," J-Boy added. "I still don't understand. What do you mean, trying to save me?" I asked. "Actually, she was the donor of the kidney," Senior began to explain. "What?" I exclaimed. "Yes. She said she couldn't watch you die, just like that. She wanted to prove to you that she loves you, despite the hatred you have been giving in return. But unfortunately, she couldn't make it. She died 3 hours after the surgery." Senior sobbed. I tasted something salty in my mouth before I realized I had been shedding tears while he spoke. How could I have been so mean? I was busy hating someone I should be loving all, because I have heard so many stories about wicked stepmothers, and I was thinking they all are in the same boat. It finally dawned on me that I had ended up being like the people I feared. Aunt Linda had always been like a mother to me, and not like what I made her look. She was selfless, tolerant, and had done so much to show me love, but I was too blinded by hate to notice. Before she died, she left a message for you. She said that for her soul to rest in peace, you need to accept Amanda as your blood. Junior was saying. Before he was done, I took the baby from J-Boy and held her lovingly to my bosom, for the very first time since she was born, not minding that she was crying and struggling to be free from my hold. I love you, my dear sister, I whispered, tearfully. That evening, I talked Dad into driving me down to the cemetery where she was buried. And there, I tendered my apology to her loving soul. As for Amanda, I never knew she was a little angel. Though it took time before she accepted me, we are cool now and she has been the most important part of my life. I used to wonder why I allowed jealousy to cloud my reasoning. Amanda was only being a child. It's been 5 years now, but I still visit the cemetery at the end of each year to pay homage to the one who gave her life for me to live.